Hello again, it's Noob, and here we have a tool, the Open Organisation of Lock Pickers credit card pick set, and this was kindly given to me by a member of TOOOL at LockCon 2023 in the Netherlands. Full disclosure, I'm not affiliated with TOOOL in any way. This is not a paid review, all thoughts my own. Nobody gets to see this video before it goes out live. And if you don't know, the Open Organisation of Lock Pickers is an international group of lockpicking enthusiasts dedicated to advancing the general public knowledge about locks and lockpicking through teaching, research and competition, and TOOOL in the United States is a non-profit organisation. I think that's everything I need to say. Right, so what do we have? Well, this little lockpick set comes in a very smart little envelope there. I kind of like that, it's cute. You could probably, once you've broken this apart, throw all your tools back inside there. I have noticed that the tools also come with a little hole in the middle, so it's possible, I think it looks like a 3mm hole, you could probably put some kind of like small rivet or screw or something in there to put them together, or throw them onto a keychain and throw the turning tool into your wallet. So it's all very possible. Obviously these cards are meant to be kept inside a wallet like this as an emergency backup set, not as a main pick set or anything like that. Clearly you have to be careful with the laws in your region, so you don't get caught by the police and they think you're going to burgle somewhere. But yeah, these are a very nice little backup pick set to throw into a wallet for those emergencies where you might have a lockout in the wild. Before we break this apart, what do we get? Well, we have a quad peak rake, a quint peak rake, quite a nice little half diamond there. We have a spoon-shaped hook, which isn't my favourite, I'm not going to lie. Then we have a nice medium hook and a nice flat-topped short hook. In the middle, we have a dual-purpose, well, like a Z-wrench, because this can be top or bottom of the keyway, depending on how you use it, and I really like that. You also have these two little bits of the frame here, and depending on the steel, sometimes the steel is made, it's really high quality steel, so sometimes it's quite brittle because it's strong, you know, it has flex to it of course, but it's meant to have rigidity as well as durability. It's a nice mix, but sometimes that means putting a bend in this to make a like a little top of the keyway turner might end up with it just breaking, but that isn't the fault of the tool because you wouldn't want them to compromise on the quality of the materials. Right, let's break this apart. I'll see if we can break it apart using my fingers. Sometimes these are quite hard, and a pair of pliers or trapping it in a drawer or something like that sometimes works as well. But I'll just see whether I can free these up using my fingers. It looks like these have been cut using a water jet, and then they've partially cut the way through the frame, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this seems to be coming apart quite nicely. I'll save that. You do have a little bit of wastage in here, but not very much, which is good. So you can see here that this part of the frame, for example, goes in the sort of waste pile, and so does this part of the frame. I'm not saying that these little bits here at the side are waste, because I think we can get a top of keyway turner out of those. We'll see anyway, won't we? So yeah, not much. Look at that. That isn't much in terms of that whole card in terms of waste space, so that's not bad. There's definitely worse out there. Break apart these picks, they all come apart very nicely. There is a little bit of sprue left on there, which is a tiny bit sharp, but really won't be a bother. And of course you could just get a finger file or a piece of sandpaper and take those off if you wanted to keep them after you've used them, of course. So if I wanted a top of the keyway turner in the wild, what I'd do is I'd just put it into the top of a lock like this, and I'd gently bend this around. Now I'm going to try to bend it in a way which gives me a nice bend like that. I don't want to snap it, but I might go a little bit further. It's going to have a bit of a curve on it. The closer you get to a 90-degree bend on this, the more likely it is to snap. But it's actually behaving quite well, and it's easy to see how using a lock you can sort of create your own top of the keyway turner, because I actually do prefer something like that for this type of lock. So I mean, that's actually worked quite well. So with care, if you don't mind a relatively large curve and you don't want to, you don't need a right angle, you can make yourself a little top of the keyway turner. So quite useful. On a second attempt, I actually managed to get an even better top of the keyway turner. So yeah, not bad. clearly in our demonstration we can't use any other tools than what we have here, so let's try each one. First up we have this quad peak rake, and I've got a Euro cylinder in a vise here. Just going to see whether we can rake this open using a bit of top of the keyway tension. Got to be careful not to rake that tool out that we made earlier, and oh, already into a false set, that's good. So now I can move over to my short hook and just explore what pins aren't picked. Feels like pin 1 here. Go against that counter rotation, pick, and we have the open. The long nose on this Z wrench is quite good for locks like this, which have like shielding and spinners and a deeper keyway, where you might want to go down into that keyway and get some tension on the lock. Then we can use something like that quint peak rake to go in and try to rake open this lock. Oh, and yeah, we already got it. Look at that, straight away. So then we have a little spoon-shaped hook. This is very good at being able to use the shank itself as a fulcrum, a lever point, so that you can work off some warding to pick locks with more shallow bittings. Going to give this a go with the top of the keyway turner. And this isn't my favourite profile, I'll be honest with you, but it's only because it's not a type of hook that I learned to pick with. So, you know, your mileage may vary. You may absolutely love using one of these sort of curved spoon type hooks. I'm told by a lot of people they really like it. So I guess it depends entirely on your style and how you like to pick and the types of locks you pick. Always worth giving these things a go. You never know what might work for you. It might be a revelation and be something you never thought of before, and having tried is now going to be like your favourite pick ever in the world ever. So just trying to pick my way through the remaining pins of this lock. Pin 1 there. Oh, into a big full set. Oh, yeah. Just trying to go up on one of these pins here, and we got the open. Wow, full set, spool pins. What more do you want? Little half diamonds like this are great in small keyways like this. So again, using that top of the keyway turning tool we made, which has been very, very good. I'm just going to see what we can find in this little Yale lock. The tip of this little half diamond is very useful at navigating underneath the pins in this lock and really allow me to sort of get under there and feel what I'm doing, which is really nice. So back to the back, 5 there into a full set, 4, 3, 2, just checking 1. Oh, don't want to overset that. Oh, but we got the open. We were brave, we took a chance, and we got it. I think the only profile I haven't used in this video is this sort of medium to deep hook. So I've got a American style keyway, which isn't paracentric, so we can go right off the bottom of the keyway with this, use a bit of top of the keyway tension, and we'll try to pick all the way from the bottom of the lock to the top using this medium hook and picking away through these pins. Every time I do pick this lock, I do always say it's one of my favourite locks to pick, and it is just one of my favourite locks to pick. It's got great feedback, some really nice sort of spool pins in there. You can really feel the counter rotation, everything that you're doing. It's just a real joy to pick your way through. So yeah, just working through those pins which will give me the full sets and working my way through, and I think, yeah, we got the open. Good stuff. So there you go, that's the TOOOL emergency pick card. I hope you can see that all of these profiles are perfectly usable. And they're actually, if you look very closely, considering they're part of a card, they're finished really nicely with no noticeable sharp edges or anything. I don't know how they tumble these cards or get a softer finish, but maybe it's just the water jet process itself, but they feel really nice. They feel smooth apart from these little sprue bits that are left on the picks from the frame. But yeah, other than that, the general finish and feel of these picks is remarkably good, I have to say, for what it is. So how do I conclude this? Well, there's going to be some things I like and some things that maybe I would improve or change. So let's go through those things I like. I think that the general pick selection on this is great. Not too many rakes. You get a nice half diamond, great for those smaller keyways. It's like a hybrid pick as well, so you can rake with it. You've got your short hook, you've got your deep hook. The only thing that I'm not a big fan of is the spoon shaped hook, this one. But that could just be a personal preference thing. It clearly works. You've got to have a relatively shallow bitting for it to work. Because if you had anything too extreme, then the shank itself would foul some of the pins and could even overset them. But other than that, I do like all the pick profiles. If I had to change this out, I would probably go for another hook, because it's always good to have like a short, medium and a really deep hook on a card kit. But yeah, for the most part, I quite like the selection of tools. In fact, I think there's pretty much the same selection of tools you get in the full-size TOOOL lockpick set, which is probably why they chose these. You can see that I've got these on a keyring there, just to show that you can throw them onto that for safekeeping. The material quality is good, the finish is good, so there's a lot of good things to say about this set. The turning tool itself is pretty good, it's pretty versatile. I'm erring on going into the things that I think are some mild negatives for this card, but I will just say that this is not unique to this card set. You're talking very thin materials here, 0.6, 0.7 millimeters of material, so these are always a bit more flexible than you'd really like. But it is good that you can bend the frame sections into some top of the keyway tools, and as you probably saw in my video, I used these in preference. I really like this style of top of the keyway tool. Things I don't like. So there isn't anything particularly that, apart from a preference to not have the spoon-shaped hook, apart from that, there isn't anything particularly I don't like about these. The things which don't particularly work are the same kind of things that you have on most, not all, but most of the credit card pick sets, in that these tools are obviously a little harder to use. You get less feedback, they're less comfortable, they are emergency finger picks. If you attach some popsicle sticks, lolly sticks to this, glued them on and gave yourself some nice handles, these would actually turn into some pretty nice lock picks, which you can make for very cheap. Obviously, again, definitely not unique to this card set, but you do have some of these little tabs here which you can file off if you want to keep them a bit more comfortable. There isn't much else I can say negative about this set. I did mention already how flexible the tools are for the top of the keyway and bottom of the keyway. There's not much you can do about that because of the nature of the materials that these cards are made from. But yeah, all in all, I think it's a pretty decent set. So what does this set you back? Well, this is currently $35 US, and at the time of filming, and also at the time of filming, the exchange rate means that that's around £27.61 or thereabouts. Obviously those prices will change over time, and they don't include shipping. So yeah, if you like this, then they're available on the TOOOL website, and I will leave a link below if you are interested. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, leave a like. If you have any comments, then please drop them below. I do read them all and reply to as many as I can. If you haven't subscribed, now's a great time to do so for more content like this, and I will see you all next time.